I've done 7.5 years in the Florida State Correctional Institution.
It's been like probably 10 years or more.
I did 11 years, and I've been out now 5 years. If I don't receive a pardon, then I'll be 60 years old before I can even get my voting rights back.
Northwest Reception Center. Prison we going to this morning. I've had a big struggle, ever since we won the ex-felon voters' rights. One of the major struggles is getting everybody informed and educated about moral turpitude.
Yes, I do.
Moral turpitude is... I
don't know what moral turpitude is.
What it is. What it means.
Crimes like robbery,
drug charge, usually with a weapon.
Like where you have victims.
It has to be something to an extent to where you really are, it's more like a hate crime.
Lets people know that they really shouldn't have the right to vote.
For 106 years before we won that lawsuit, since 1901 to 2008, almost 107 years, people's rights were taken in the state of Alabama unconstitutionally, because they just said if you got a felony, you lose your rights to vote. That was not true according to the Constitution.
Can you imagine if everybody that's incarcerated and that's at the county jails, if they had that right to vote, how many people that would be? It's over thousands and thousands of people that are actually locked up just here in Alabama. So if you was to go in and you was able to get all those votes, it can tilt any election. That's power. That's a lot of power.
I'll tell you one scenario. I was in the city jail here in Dothan, and it was time to vote for the president. Do you know all of the votes came back and they told us we wasn't able to vote? They gave us all our ballots back. Just put them in an envelope. Mail time, they gave them back to them, and we're like, why is this? Or we voted for Obama, what's the problem, you know? Never to this day did we get an answer.
Yeah, they allowed them to vote, but then they took them back from them. I'm really not too familiar with how it happened inside the jail, but I've heard about it, but of course they cover it up.
The sheriff that I helped get elected in 2006, he turned on me. He told me I needed to choose to be an advocate or a preacher. I quoted to him 1 John 2nd chapter, 1st verse, where it says if we commit a sin, we have an advocate with the Father, which is Jesus the Christ. So an advocate and a preacher is the same thing, synonymous one to another. What he was saying was that he wasn't going to allow me to come back into jail. I had been going into jail for 8 years preaching. And he wasn't going to allow me to come back into jail because I wanted to register people to vote and inform them of their rights.
A lot of people that are ex-felons, they feel like they can't get them back because somebody just told them, I can't get them back, and they never push the issue, but they can be restored. The first step is they need to make sure that they're not on probation or parole. That's first off. And after they make sure they're not on probation or parole, after they completed their probation or parole time, also make sure their fines and restitutions are paid up. They've done that. They don't have to do anything but come get an application and say they want to be registered to vote.
It hurts because you can't get your voting rights back and you're limited to everything that you do. I mean, because a lot of stuff is in with that. It puts a limit on you being able to get your own place to stay. You can't get public housing. It just hurts you in a whole lot of ways, but the system tells you that you're rehabilitated, but you come out with more strikes against you than what you went in with.
I mean, you've done your time already. It don't make sense for you to come back in society and have to be punished again for the crime that you already served time for. To me, it's senseless.
When a person loses their voting rights, it's more than just voting. They cannot get Pell Grants to go to school and better themselves. They cannot get public housing anymore. You can't get a business license. And of course, we already know it's hard for a felon or whatever to get a job. These are all the attachments and the inclusions that come with losing your rights.
Turn left onto Sam Mitchell Drive, then your destination will be on the right.
Alright, so we made it here to the prison. We're going here and talk to the brother. Tell them about the things that we're doing. Talk to them about getting out.
When a person makes up their mind to change, and even more so as a gospel preacher, when God changes an individual, I think that God is not the God of a second chance, but God is the God of another chance and another chance and another chance, and it keeps on going. Since I believe in God in that manner, I think it's a lot to usurp authority and say, because you did this on a specific date, that you should never have a right to vote.